Hey, beauty friends, it's Meredith Roddy from Beadalon and Artistic Wire. Welcome to another class for the Michaels Community Classroom. Today we are going to be making a beaded hair clip, and I am really excited about this project, as I'm excited for all of the projects. And I'm so glad to have everyone joining me live for class today. And of course, if you are watching the replay in about 24 hours over on the Michaels Community Classroom YouTube channel, welcome there as well. And the instructions and materials list for the class are going to be posted right underneath the screen that you're watching. So at Michaels right now, there are a ton of really cool hair clip blanks. They have we've got bobby pins. We've got the clippy clips that we're going to be working with today. They also have French barrette blanks, a whole display of different colors and different shapes of hair clips. And my inspiration just went crazy when I saw that. And I thought, what a great idea to be able to take basic beading techniques. We're going to be doing some basic stringing today, but to create a beaded, see how many times I can say that. To create a beaded hair clip, which is a really fun accessory. You can dress it up to do something really fancy for a party or a gala or an event, or something really casual and fun for for an everyday wear. So we're going to do a little of both. We're going to have a little bling. We're going to use some seed beads, and we're going to learn basic stringing, but we're going to do it with a little bit of a twist. Instead of making a necklace or a bracelet that you would think of when you're doing basic stringing, we're going to take those same techniques and apply them to an accessory. So let's go ahead and take that overhead camera and we will just get right down to it. Perfect. All right, I've got my instructions right here. Like I mentioned, you can go ahead and print them out. And let's talk about the materials that we're going to be using today. Got a lot of things out here on the beading mat, but we're going to put most of them aside. The first thing that we are going to need, because we are going to be doing some bead stringing, is some beading wire. And today I'm going to be using the 49 strand bright color 018 wire. And I'm doing this because I 49 strand is generally my preferred strand of wire to use. And 018 is the right diameter of wire to use, given the size 6 seed beads that I'm going to be using from my friends at John Bead. I have a couple of tubes out here. I haven't quite decided which colors are going to speak to me today. I have 2 different sizes as well, size 6s and size 8s. You can do this project with really any bead that's going to be light enough to be comfortable in your hair. So think about the end result. We're making a hair clip. We're taking one of these clips and we're going to put some beads on it and have it be in either yours or someone else's hair. So you don't want something that's going to be so heavy that it's going to pull out, right? You don't want something that's going to be so heavy that's going to pull your hair out. But there are so many different light beads, from seed beads in all different sizes that they have in Michaels. You could use crystal beads, you could use small gemstones. I don't think I would go any bigger than a 4mm though, because we're going to do about a 6-inch piece. And like I said, you want it to be comfortable. So we're going to need some stringing wire. We are also going to need some crimp tubes. I have everything here in a little stack. Some crimp tubes, some wire guardians, maybe an optional crimp cover, and then some jump rings. Actually, no, you know what? We're not going to need some jump rings. We'll talk about that. You could use some jump rings if you were so inclined, because we are going to add, of course, a little dangle do to the bottom of our barrette or a hair clip, whatever it is that you call it. But the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to actually add some glass flatback rhinestones to this surface. And to do that, I'm going to use some BeadFix gel. Oh, the wonderful comment that just came through. Susie said this would be so cute for a flower girl in the bride's wedding colors. I love that idea. That is fabulous. So we're going to use some BeadFix gel, and I really like the BeadFix gel as an adhesive because it's a little bit thicker than some of the other adhesives out there. You might be familiar with GS Hypo Cement that I use a lot in different classes, and this stuff is great, but I find that it can be a little runny. And so we're going to kind of play around this. Obviously, I haven't opened this one up yet. When I did my original design, I did use the GS Hypo Cement because I had one up and open on my desk. But I do tend to like the BeadFix gel, and you'll find this on the wall at Michael's, the Hypo Cement you would have to buy online. But a lot of people do have that in their beading stash, and their beading toolbox as well. But we're going to use that BeadFix gel today. So we'll need some glass flatback rhinestones. You can use obviously any color, different shapes and sizes. These ones happen to be an SS34, which I believe, I don't want to speak out of turn. I think it's a 6mm, approximately 6mm. Looks like, yeah, it's about maybe a 5mm. Okay. Or am I looking at inches? Nope, that's millimeters. All right, Meredith. Okay, so we've got our crystals, we have our gel, we have our materials, and I think we're ready to get started. So for those of you who might not be familiar with just how to make the glue work, let's just take it from the very beginning. So it's going to come out of the package. And because it's glue, it's going to have a coating here, right? And all you need to do is line your threads up and thread that on. And what that's going to do is open that up. One of the things that you want to make sure that you don't do, I think that's going to open that up. Did that work? Yep. There's my BeadFix gel. Like, where is it? And you can see right here that it is a much thicker adhesive. And I like that because it's not going to run all over the place. It's going to go just exactly where I want it to. And I don't have to worry about spillage. I don't have to worry about spillage or about it running all over the place. So let me just go ahead and tap out a couple rhinestones here. I love rhinestones. I love crystals. I love them so much. And I don't get to play with them nearly as often as I would like. So I was really, really glad to be able to have a surface to glue things onto for this project. So just right there, I just tap one in the middle. I could probably go ahead and put a bit more glue on here. I don't want to, glue is very, you have to be very careful because you don't want to squeeze this tube so much that the glue keeps coming out, but you need to squeeze it enough so that the glue does come. So whenever I do the explanation for GS Hypo Cement, I always say just hold it in your hand, let that glue run out. The BeadFix gel needs a little bit more oomph to be able to come and run out of the tube, but you kind of got to get that sweet spot between not squeezing it all out, but just enough so that it does a good job of running. And one of the things that I love about the surface area of this particular barrette and the size of these particular glass flatback rhinestones is you get a nice flower pattern. So that really harkens back to what Susie had mentioned in the comments. What a great thing to do for a flower girl, either in the bride's wedding colors or even for your bridal hair, right? To have a little sparkle, a little bling in there. I think that that is always a great idea. More bling is definitely better. I had to answer a question recently, which is what is my favorite beading color? And my answer was sparkle. So I'm going to let this dry. I'm actually not going to bead on this spread. I'm going to grab another one to demonstrate because I don't want to mess these up as I am doing my beading. You're going to want to let your BeadFix gel, your crystals here dry. I'm fairly what am I? I'm fairly impatient. Really 24 hours for a full cure, but within like 10 or 15 minutes, you should be fine. We'll test these at the very end of class and see how we did with being patient and waiting for them, but it's certainly not a, just do it and go right into it. So let's get started and do some crimping, right? That's what this class is all about. Simple stringing, but with doing it a little bit differently. So I'm going to go ahead and I want to cut a piece of wire about 14 inches long. So I'm just going to use my beading tray as a guide. That's about 14 inches. If you're going to do something more intricate, more long, you're going to want a wire that's a little bit longer, but 14 inches is a good place to go. And I'm going to just string this through the hole in the hair clip. Okay. Just like that. Okay. But the first thing that I want to do, well, actually not the first thing that I want to do. I'm just going to do it like that. And now I'm going to put on a crimp tube, and this is a size 2 crimp tube. And I'm going to use a wire guardian because oh wait, no, I'm not going to use the wire guardian. That's for the other step. The reason why I'm going to use a number 2 crimp tube is because my wire spool tells me it's a little blown out with the lights here in the studio, but you can see right here on the spool of wire, I could use a number 1 crimp bead or a number 2 crimp tube. I love the Beadalon stringing wire because it always tells you which crimp bead or crimp tube you want to use, which takes all of the guesswork out of it. If you want to know some more information about about crimping, there's a great video. It is, I believe it's called 5 Things You Never Want to Do When Making Beaded Jewelry. And that's on the Michael's YouTube channel. I'm sorry, I wanted to address Patty's questions. She threw me off. You could put it really into any of the holes in this barrette, right? So you could do it here on the end if you wanted to. And in fact, why don't we do that? Right into the hole of the barrette. So let me back up a couple of steps. I have my number 2 crimp tube on here, and I was originally going to come in here just to make it a little bit more loosey-goosey, but you know what? I like the idea of putting it right through this hole right on the end. It gives it a little bit more, what's the word that I'm looking for? Security. So I went up and around and back through that crimp tube. Okay. Now let's talk crimping really quickly. Your wire here is always going to want to cross. Let me see if I can't get rid of some of this background real quick and bring my camera down a little bit. Let's see. Let's get that little reset the focus real quick. Some of that distraction. All right. So when you crimp, your wire is always going to want to cross in that crimp tube. You want to do your very best to get the wires, instead of crossing, to go side by side. Okay. And then you're going to use your standard size crimp tool that you'll also find on the wall at Michael's. And you want to do crimping as a 3-step process. So you'll see in that crimp tool, there's a little space in the front, in the top here, and another space in the back. The space in the back has a little divot, a little dimple that comes down. The space in the front is truly rounded. So what you want to do with that rounded spot in the front, that's the first one. You're going to put your crimp tube into that front spot and you're going to gently squeeze. And this is the place where I make sure that my wires are next to each other and not crossed. And doing that first step really helps with making that channel, that space big enough so that your wires aren't crossed. Now I'm going to come back here in the back of my pliers, and I'm holding my wires slightly apart, and I'm going to squeeze down. And I want to just give it a couple of little chomps there in the back of the pliers. And what that does is it turns that oval that you made into a jelly bean. And this is the biggest challenge always in teaching crimping in classes, is being able to get a really, really good shot of what that jelly bean looks like. Okay, I think that that's pretty good. So we did the front, now we did the back, and we're going to come back in the front part of those pliers. And then we're going to hold that jelly bean straight up and down. Bop this back up, my focus is not focusing. And we're going to squeeze once again so that that jelly bean now becomes, what does the jelly bean become? The jelly bean becomes a folded over jelly bean. It folds over on itself, and you can see how I'm moving, I'm chomping my crimping pliers around and around there. That's how you get a really good crimp. You want to give it a little tuggy tug to make sure that it took. But if you did those 3 parts, one in the front, one in the back, one back in the front, you really should have a nice, good crimp. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and close that just to make it a little bit. Taco to a burrito. Thank you, Susie. That's right. I like jelly bean. I'm trying to think like where I can go from jelly bean, but taco to burrito really makes good sense. Thank you very much. All right. So now what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to use, I love this, where's the color here? Bubblegum, gumballs. I called it bubblegum. It's gumballs mix. You can see how much I love it because I only have that much left. And I'm not sure that I'm going to have enough to make my whole 6 inches. So I'm going to go over to this turquoise. This color has been speaking to me for a while now. So I think I'm going to give in and do a little stringing up of these size 6 seed beads. Now, could you use 8s? Absolutely. Could you use 11s? 100%. No reason not to. So a lot of people string up beads in different ways. Even for 6s, even though they're a little bit bigger than 8s or 11s, I still pick them up like this on my beading mat. Some people pick the beads up, put them onto the wire, pick the beads up, put them onto the wire. And if that's your preferred method of stringing, more power to you. I think that it is easier for me just to, and I'm helping them on because I could kind of pick them up like this, but the 6s are just a little bit heavier, or just a little bit that much heavier. So giving them a little coax on with my finger really makes for some fast stringing. This is a project that is definitely made for bead soup, your leftover beads from other projects. It is for a solid color, just like I'm doing today. You could do some color blocking, right? And in fact, I could do that. I could do this color right here and then switch over to this color. And you know what? Why not? We'll do a little color blocking here with this color, because this color is kind of singing to me as well. And in the instructions, I said do about 6 inches. Do whatever you fancy. This is not a have to follow the pattern kind of a project. This is really more of an inspiration. Look at what you can do with a simple knowledge of crimping and finishing off beaded, or I'm sorry, strung jewelry. So if you want to do just, 2 inches of beads, do 2 inches of beads. If you want to go crazy and do 12 inches of beads, I think that that would be just fine as well. Let's see, what do I have here so far? I'm looking at about 5 inches. So let me go just a little bit more, just for fun. And one of the things that I love, just knowing what I know about how to finish off jewelry is all of the different things that you can do once you know that. So once you know how to crimp, you could make beaded lampshade. You could make beaded curtains. You could make a beaded hair clip like this. It's really having those fundamental skills of jewelry making and then applying that to all different things. So I have about 6 inches of beads, and what I've done over here, I have this little tail left over. My beads actually did it for me. I just want to tuck that little tail in. If your tail happens to be more than about an inch, I would just recommend cutting it to about an inch. And just hide it in those beads. That way it won't scratch, it won't mess. Yeah, it won't scratch is really the thing. It won't catch on anything. Just good beading practice. And now I have to wonder where, oh, here's my other crimp tube. Those little crimp tubes do tend to get lost. So you just want to make sure that you know where that crimp tube is, or keep it in a little jar like I do over here. So now on this side, I'm going to add a wire guardian. And I didn't add it on the other side really because there wasn't enough room to clear the hole there. And if your hair clip doesn't have a hole on the end, no worries. Just attach it like I did in the beginning, just along anywhere really that you can attach it, because once it's in your hair, you're not going to be able to see it. Okay, and your beads are going to want to slip out here. They're just going to just knock them back in. All right, so a wire guardian, for anybody who doesn't know, they are these little horseshoe shaped pieces of metal, and they have 2 tubes. There's one tube on this end and one tube on that end. And what these do is they give a little bit of extra protection between your wire and your clasp. In this case, I think that they just look a little bit nicer. It's a little bit of a nicer finished end for our beaded hair clip today. So we're going to go up one side, and the hole is very, very small, but just thread up one side. And if I were adding a clasp, I would add the clasp now. But since I'm not actually adding a clasp here, I'm going to come back down the other side of my little horseshoe. I'm going to go back through that crimp tube, and then I'm going to take my thread, or my wire in this case, back through about an inch or so of beads. And I'm going to tighten everything up. One thing you definitely want to do, so not everybody does this and not every instructor teaches this, but I always come through with some chain nose pliers and very, very gently, I squeeze the ends of my wire guardian together. I don't want to do it so much that they cross, because this is a very, very fine piece of metal. So if you squeeze it too much, it will either smush or it will cross or it will somehow come out of line. So just very, very gently with the tips of my pliers, will I bring the 2 ends of my wire guardian together. And then I'm going to double check and make sure that my wire is tucked in over here, because it will come out and I will forget about it. And I'm going to come over here, and it's not in the instructions, but we're going to do a bonus. We're going to add a crimp cover to this. So whenever I add a crimp cover, I have to account for that in between when I'm doing my crimping. So it's a little bit of a game of zhuzh. right? To get this all right, because I don't want to pull this all up so tight here. Not only will my piece be stiff, but I won't have any room here between my wire guardian and my crimp and my beads to fit a crimp cover. So it's one of the things that I always, almost not always, but very often will forget to account this space. So I always like to remember to mention it when I am doing crimp covers. So I need to back this out a little bit. And then what I'll do in order to get that space there to be the right space is I'll take my nail and I'll hold that crimp cover. I'm sorry, I'll hold that crimp tube in between. So my nail is actually in between the tube and the beads. Okay. And then I will just make sure that there is the smallest bit more room up here so that I have room on both sides. It's one of those very nuanced things of jewelry design, but I like to mention it because if you're going to use crimp covers, you should know how to do it and give yourself enough space. So once again, we're going to do that 3-step crimping process. We're coming in the front of the crimping pliers. We're going to go in the back of the crimping pliers. And then I'm going to hold that taco straight up and down in the front of the crimping pliers again. And I'm going to go around and around and around and turn it into a burrito. Make sure it took. Yep, we're good. Little chompy chomps all the way around. Crimp covers are also really good if you inadvertently left too much space, right? Maybe you didn't mean to leave so much space, or maybe sometimes what happens, especially if you're doing something with size 11 seed beads or glass beads here at the end, you might break one when you're trying to do the crimping. That's happened to me before, and it's a bummer. But if you use a crimp cover, you can take up that extra space, that extra slack. But before we do that, we should probably come on in here and snip this extra wire off. And I have a pretty good length here of extra wire. This is probably about 5 inches. And I know that we hate to waste wire. This is probably more than I need. I probably could have done this with, maybe half this much. But having that little extra bit of wire is a lot better than having just a little teeny tiny bit of wire trying to wrangle it through. Trust me, I know from experience. All right, so crimp covers look like Pac-Man. And they go over the crimp, right? They cover the crimp. And they can be a little fiddly. But with some patience, I'm going to come in here and just get that crimp cover right over that crimp. And you can see I'm kind of balancing it against my index finger to hold it in place. And then I like to close crimp covers with chain nose pliers. If you do happen to have a mighty crimp tool, how is it possible that I have 4 standard crimp tools here and not one? Oh my gosh, I'm going to show you guys. So I have 4 standard crimp tools and not one mighty. I don't know what happened to my mighty, but that's good because I like to do it with chain nose pliers anyway. So small incremental movements, that is what gets your crimp cover in place nicely. Okay, you just want to close, close, close. You can kind of see, again, just like in crimping, I'm working my way around. I'm not just smushing it and thinking that everything is going to be all right. Just giving it nice little chomps. And you can see now on the end here. Can you see now on the end here? Let's say probably better that way. That it's a really nice finish with that wire guardian and that crimp cover on the end of our barrette. Okay, so last step, we are going to add a little dangle do. So I just have a little bead here. You can use any bead that you want. And you'll see that I'm using a head pin. My head pin isn't big enough to make that that head pin stay there. Easy, easy problem to solve with a seed bead, okay? I almost always find myself putting seed beads on the bottom of bracelets or beads or whatever I'm putting on a head pin. Not only do I like how it looks, but it's also a way to make sure that your bead's not gonna slip through. And I'm thinking I did one on the bottom. I think I'm gonna do one on the top also. And we're just gonna do a simple wrapped loop. So for those of you who haven't done a wrapped loop before, to do wrapped loops, your round nose plier are your friends, right? So if throughout all of class, the tool that I have been using has been a chain nose plier. But to make something round, actually, we'll use a matching tool. To make something round, you want to use round nose pliers. And I grabbed this tool on purpose because can you see that black mark there? That's a mark that I make with a Sharpie or a permanent marker of your choice, because that way I know my loops are always going to be the same size. So I line up the top of my pliers. I'm sorry. Yeah, I line up my pliers with the wire at that mark, and I use my thumb or my forefinger, whatever is most comfortable, and I'm going to bend that over at a 90-degree angle. Okay. Then I'm going to shift my wrist. So my pliers are now horizontal. I'm now going to make them vertical. Horizontal, vertical. Yeah. Okay. The index finger of my non-dominant hand, I'm going to use with my thumb to push and pull, or to pull and push that wire around my pliers. So it's coming down here at whatever this angle is, in between 90 and 90 there. Okay. Now, my loop is now around the top of my pliers, but I'm going to remove my pliers and put that loop on the bottom of my pliers. And I'm going to line it up at that same mark. I had the mark on the top and on the bottom. And I'm going to switch hands. Everybody does their loops differently. You might have better luck doing your loops differently. This is how I do my loops. I'm now going to put this in my my left hand. And I had been working horizontally. Now I'm working vertically. I am going to tilt it though, so that you can see what I'm doing, but I would be doing this vertically. And now I'm going to take those same chain nose pliers, and around that round nose, I'm going to pull that wire toward me so that it crosses my head pin at a 90-degree angle. Then I'm going to grab that wire. I'm going to push. I'm going to pull. I'm going to push. And I'm going to pull. And I'm going to push. And I'm going to pull until that space between the loop and my beads is used up. And sometimes I like to come in here and just give a little squeeze, squeeze, make sure that that loop didn't get out of plane. And then I'm going to come in here with my nippers and give a nice close cut and squeeze down that end to make sure that it's nice and tucked in. Okay. And harkening back to the very, very beginning of our class today, when I mentioned that we did not need a jump ring, we do in fact need just one, but we will need one jump ring because I'm going to attach my charm, my dangle do, to the end of my hair clip. So to open and close your jump rings, you want 2 chain nose pliers. So here I have a bent chain nose plier, and here I have a straight chain nose plier. So I'm going to pick up my jump ring, and then here I'm using an oval jump ring, just because that's what I had. If you have round jump rings, they will work as well. And to open that jump ring, I'm going to twist. So I don't want to pull, because that's going to put the jump ring out of plane. I'm going to twist that jump ring toward me. pick up my dangle do, thread it onto my wire guardian, and then reverse that motion and wiggle, wiggle back and forth until those two ends of that jump ring meet up to each other. So we crimped and we learned how to do a wrapped loop while making a really fun and very versatile hair clip. So let's go ahead. I'm going to try this hair clip on. I haven't actually done this yet, but I feel like it's a day that needs a hair clip. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in my hair. I'll do that without a mirror. See how that works. Please, you want to go ahead and take that up camera? There we go. Move the box there and see. Oh, so cute. It's tough to see from the front. But oh, I love it. So can you imagine? All right, it's tough. It gets hidden in my hair with the way the camera is. Maybe even a little bit longer, right? Maybe like as long as my whole hair. That would be really fun and pretty. And then with that little bling of our original design here, really, really fun idea for taking simple crimping and simple stringing to the next level and making a really fun hair clip. So last thing, just want to test and see. Oh yeah, my crystals are on there. They are not going anywhere. Here, I'll show you the test. Trying to take those crystals off. They're not going anywhere. So 40 minutes later, crystals are pretty good, but I certainly didn't want to start class with everything wet and then have a big old glue mess on our hands. But here we are, super fun. And now I have a way of keeping my hair out of my face for the rest of the day. So I'm really grateful for that. So it's a fun, but also practical project. So thank you so much to everybody for hanging out with me today. We've got some really fun classes coming up. And then of course, all of the past classes that Beadalon and all of the other amazing companies have done over the past, gosh, 4 or 5 years now that you can all access in the Michael's Community Classroom YouTube library. For finding classes in the future, head on over to the Michael's to Michael's website and search under classes. I'm just looking really quickly. I got a couple questions here to touch on before I say goodbye. Kathy is asking, could the dangle be put on at the same time as the wire guardian, omitting the jump ring? Sure. Yep, you can 100% do that. I usually like adding a jump ring because it adds a little bit more movement and a little more versatility too. Maybe I decide that I don't want the dangle, or I find a different dangle that I want to put on, or I want to add more dangles, but you can 100% omit the jump ring and just attach it directly to the wire guardian. Good question. All right, and Felicia is reminding me to remind you that if you make this project or are inspired by it, please post on your socials and use hashtags Make It With Michael's class, and Learn with Michael's, and please also hashtag Beadalon. And if you are on the Instagram, you can feel free to go over and find me and follow me. I am at Meredith Joy Design. So please tag me, tag all of the places, because I love seeing what you make. And I will leave you with this idea that Pam has just put in the chat. She says to put a small cluster on the bottom, which would be great as well, to do a cluster of little beads. So I hope you enjoyed this project. Again, I'm Meredith Roddy for Beadalon, and I hope to see you next time in the Michael's Community Classroom. Until then, happy beading.